Dr. Holman, just to finish up, I'm grateful for how seriously you're taking this. It's obviously very important to you, and clearly there have been discussions about whether you should defer people with CFS. Could you share with us some of the negatives to doing that came up in your discussion that prompted the decision?
Well, I think that the biggest one right now is just trying to sort through the data, and again looking to see what data are out there, and the confounding data that has come out in the last couple of months. I think that as scientists they would also like to be able to see the epidemiology of it, but I'm hearing what you're saying also, and that there is a prudency of being able to at least see, put some word out there. I think that we're in a very difficult situation where we do know XMRV exists. I think it would be foolish to say that it is not transmitted by blood, but whether XMRV causes disease in man is something that we don't know. And so I think that when the August group of individuals can really sort through that, I think that there will be something definitive. Now, in the interim, there may also be different policies that, or I should say policies, but there may be educational material that would come out to express the concern about the potential association through blood transfusion. But at this point in time, the committee is working on different approaches for that.
And you're comfortable with that decision?
Well, until we can get a little bit more data, yes. I think that we do have the position in place with the good health statement and also the information to that the medical director is responsible for the qualification of a donor.
Last question then, Art. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm having trouble understanding the downside of just not accepting these patients as donors. What do you lose by that? Even if you do not have, I mean, why wait for them? Why wait for all the science to be sure? Why not just make that decision? How much do you lose? I think that question's been asked, and I haven't understood the answer.
I can't quantify the numbers of donors that we would lose. I don't think it would be that large of a drop in potential donors. I would in hopes that there would not be an impact on donations. Again, this is something that I need to be able to go back and talk to the blood community about. One of the things that you have to understand is that the blood supply in the United States is not controlled by the U.S. government. It's not a federalized system. And so what we have is that we have community blood sources, such as the American Red Cross, that has a large percentage of the blood supply. But then we also have a very large percentage of the blood supply that is controlled by the community blood centers. And so we are working with the community blood centers and also the American Red Cross on working through some of these issues and having discussions just like you're asking right now, as far as what kind of statement needs to be in the absence of a definitive epidemiological association. What kind of message should go out there?
And so you'll be investigating what the loss in the blood supply would be and whether it's better just to, for the time being, just to not accept these patients, is that?
Right, and again, I have to come back to making sure that the blood community is aware and the mechanisms that we have in place at the present time.
So I'm actually hearing an implicit recommendation from CFSAC, and if we made a formal recommendation for the record, would that have an impact on decision making?
That is your decision. I mean, definitely the government that looks at your recommendations, and the private sector would also, I would make them aware of your recommendation.
I can feel a recommendation coming from somewhere. But thank you, Dr. Holman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you think we should switch those on? We're just taking a quick look at the agenda because I know how important the charter and bylaws are, so I want to make sure that we really have enough time to do that. So we're doing quite well for time. We're actually, almost on time, which is, maybe a first for this committee. And we're hopeful that a review and update of past CFSAC recommendations can go fairly quickly, and then maybe we can use the balance of the time to introduce the charter and bylaw discussion and then finish that up later on this afternoon. So if I don't hear a motion to the contrary, then I'll make an executive decision and move ahead with that. So do you want to give us just a brief overview of the recommendations and the current state of those recommendations? One.